Hello, welcome to the Millhouse Garage. This time it might be the Millhouse Tech Garage, and in fact this is the first time you're seeing it. But anyway, today I thought I would take you on a journey with me as I unbox and install some landscape lighting that honestly I couldn't find a lot of information about. So let's go ahead and flip this camera around and take a peek. Okay, so here we are, still in the garage, and this is what we're doing today. I picked up 8 LIFX Outdoor Spot LED landscape lights, and that is most certainly a mouthful, and I believe that these are a fairly new product. Maybe they came out about 8 months ago, and through all my research, I haven't really seen a lot of information about these thus far. It seems like there's some information I found on Reddit, some people talking about them, but I haven't really seen a lot of YouTube videos, and so I thought I would fill what I think is a gap in the market. And so if you're wondering, why did I go with the LIFX product in the first place? Well, to be honest, I never really liked Philips Hue a ton. They rely on a hub, and I have plenty of hubs already. I have a Lutron Caseta hub. I have all the Apple TV for Apple Home Kit, and just a lot of things, and I didn't feel it was necessary to have another product, another device. So I guess it's kind of weird because I'd rather have 8 more devices on my Wi-Fi network as opposed to just one hub that serves as the connection point for all sorts of Philips Hue bulbs. So anyway, I always feel that LIFX bulbs have been fairly reliable. Again, I like the direct connect, and now they support Matter as well. So anywho, that's kind of the backstory there. So let's go ahead and unbox these lights. Okay, so first LIFX light being opened up. Sorry for the poor camera skills. Anyways, open these up, get a nice little get started guide. Pretty cool. Here is the light itself. And the wire is tucked under this cardboard. Let's go ahead and flip that up. Not exactly the easiest thing to unbox. So you can see here's the light, fairly large. LED, looks like pretty many diodes in there. Within the box, you do get your voltage converter. Looks like that screws into the cord from the light itself. A little quick connector for your landscape light wiring. Not too bad. And then you do get a couple of mounting options. You do get a surface mount plate, a spike, and what appears to be an extension. So some screws for mounting. Here is that spike for the ground, and then your extension and the surface mounting plate. Screw the extension on. Adds a good bit of height, actually, about maybe 3 inches. And so there you have it. That's actually pretty long. One thing that is worth noting is each product, it is Matter enabled, it does support HomeKit, but they all come with a very unique Matter code, QR code and number there. So make sure as you unbox these that you keep the appropriate code with the appropriate light. Good thing I only unboxed 2 so far, so no big deal, but it is worth noting because you could very easily give yourself a problem down the road. All right, so thanks to the power of the internet, all 8 have been unboxed. They have their extender and their ground stake installed, and the wire has been unbundled as well. I will say the length of these cords is actually pretty impressive. But to be honest, I don't know that I really need anything that long. I feel like the landscape wiring that will be run underground would generally be kept close enough to the lights that you shouldn't need this long of a cord. But anyway, I'm not an expert. Another annoyance too, I guess, so far is the fact that each light has a unique code and that code is not printed on the light anywhere. Is kind of annoying, right? I guess I'll have to create some sort of a numbering system or naming system that I can actually keep all of these manuals, so in the event that I need to reconfigure something, I can do so. I don't know, maybe a silver Sharpie on each light on the bottom, and then corresponding number on the manual. So a little weird. I did mention that it does require landscape lighting, landscape wiring. So I have 250 feet of 12-2 low voltage landscape wire. Because of that, you also need a transformer. So on Amazon, I don't know if this one's gonna work, but I have a 12 volt and 14 volt transformer. Technically, it says it requires a 12 volt or a 15 volt. 15s are kind of hard to find, at least with the Wi-Fi on them as well. So you can see here I have a little antenna on top. We're gonna see if it works, and I'm gonna use an Anchor. I think this is a Powerhouse 757 or whatever the replacement was. So I'm gonna fire this up and maybe do some testing here, just because I want to make sure that everything works before I install. So hang tight, I'll be right back. All right, so slight change of plans. Rather than doing a test here in the garage, we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna take the spikes, put them in the ground first per the instructions, and get everything set up. So let's go do this. All right, so I am outside now. Hopefully the audio is not too bad. What we're trying to do here is get a wall wash, I think is what it's called. I don't know. I'm sure the experts in the comments here will let me know if I'm wrong. Anyway, I have some plants down this edge in front of the house here. So if I zoom out for a wide angle, you can kind of see what I'm working with. The goal for the first 4 lights is really just to light up these columns in front of the house. So right now I just installed 2 ground spikes. So if you can see that down there, right there, got 1 installed over there, or down there, and 1 all the way at the other end, kind of behind these bushes. So we'll see what that looks like. And now I'm gonna do 2 more. Apologies for the wind. My hand is kind of blocking it a little bit. But anyway, yeah, so we're gonna do 12 inches away from this wall here. Again, I can't really get it directly in front of this column, but we'll do our best, and I think we can angle it. Honestly, I think it'll be okay because the way our house is positioned, kind of want a little bit more light on the side anyway. These spikes, very sturdy. It's nice that they're metal. I think that's to be expected considering the fact that these are intended to be permanent outdoor light fixtures. So we got 1 in there. So grab my handy dandy tape measure and we'll come down here. You can see right now I just have some pretty old solar LED lights, and honestly they've done fairly well. So I'll put this one a little bit on an angle, I think, maybe even I don't know, maybe on a almost 45-degree angle. We'll see how it looks. We can always move these. I'm not going to bury the wire just yet. So we'll go ahead and push that one in there. They say you can use a sledgehammer if you need to, or a mallet, whatever. But I honestly haven't needed to, which is surprising because we've been a bit dry here in Pennsylvania lately. So, all right, hang tight. I'll be right back. All right, I have all of the ground spikes installed. So if we take a step back, I guess, real quick. 3 windows on the side of the garage right there. We have the porch over that way. So what I did is I put ground spikes, 3 of them alongside the garage here. So we have one kind of lined up with this space between the windows best I could. Again, kind of foiled by a bush. This one was actually able to get it pretty lined up right here. So I don't know if you can see that, but right there we have the second one. And then actually in this corner, I think this one will work out the best. If you can kind of see it down there amongst some of the bush trimmings, I have the third one. Then we already talked about the 4 that are across the front here, one on a bit of a 45 in that corner. And then the 8th light is actually going to accent this tree right here. So we do have a cage on it to protect it from deer. Yeah, let's see what this looks like. I'll be back once the lights are installed. Okay, so before I get to installing these, I went around, I labeled them. I have these nice acrylic markers. Well, my wife does. But anyway, I numbered them all. And I guess I have to take back what I said earlier, because if you look at the bottom of this, it actually has the matter code on each one. So while it would certainly be helpful to save each start guide, the nice thing is, if I lose them, it's not the end of the world, since I will still have those codes. So yeah, let's go ahead and install them. All right, so at this point, I have all of the lights installed. They're not wired yet, but that's okay. If you were still watching at this point, thank you, I guess. Appreciate it. But yeah, here, let me show you what they look like and show you what I did. Coming around from the garage door here, as you can see, we have light number 7 per the numbering right down there. They are pretty big once they're installed. At first I was like, people said they're big. I don't think so, but in all actuality, they are pretty big. So I'm gonna leave the stands on most of them, I think, or the risers, especially if these bushes grow any bigger. Don't judge me for the weeds, but you can see I got that one there. And then this one I think is actually tucked back here pretty nicely. Might have to trim the bush up a little bit. I did remove the riser from this tree up front here, so that sits a little lower, that way I can get a better wash on that tree. Got number 4, number 3, and I will need to do some trimming down here, so I have number 2 tucked in there. And if we go up onto the porch and wander over this way, you can see number 1 is tucked away down there. Again, I have to do some trimming. So I'm gonna see what we can do here and get some wiring done and see if we can get these fired up. Got the handy dandy clippers, fixtures. Actually got these on clearance at the end of the season at Target, and it's that label that you really can't read. But yeah, let's see what we can do here. Can't do this one-handed, so see ya. That's better. Took out some branches. Got a clear shot of that column now. Let's walk over here, and I guess we'll do the same thing. Let's see if I can do something here. All right, take this back in here. Hey, Johnny. And nope, doesn't go there. You know, doing stuff while you're filming is kind of difficult. The connection here is really simple. So you have the cord that comes from the light itself, and then you have this voltage converter provided by LIFX. So I'm going to try to put this together one-handed. Chances are I won't be successful, but hey, you can't blame me for trying, right? So we go ahead and somehow get this plugged in here from the light. You then have a watertight connection. Just kind of plugs in, you screw it together, and that goes to your voltage converter. Sorry for the bad angle there. I don't know if you're aware of this, but when you do landscape lighting, you'll see that the cord itself, the wire itself, has one side with some white text on it, and then the other one is just black in this case. So if you're not familiar, if this might be the first time you're doing something like that, the one with the white lettering is actually your comm line, which would correspond with the white wire on the LIFX connector here, and then the black without the lettering just goes to the black. So you want to keep that in mind when you actually put this together here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this because I need more than one hand, and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so I got it lined up here, and you can see here I have the white going to that text side, and then the black just going to the black. And then the nice thing is you kind of have this little ratcheting connector, so you just go ahead and squeeze these together, and it just kind of punctures the shield. So you make sure that is tight. This can be buried directly. And now if we look over here, this light is on, and light number 4 down there has already been connected. That is in the LIFX app, so now I'm going to go ahead and do this one right here. All right, folks, the sun has set. It's dark out. I didn't actually get all of the lights set up, and that's okay. I don't even have the wire buried yet, but I do have 4 of them on, as you can see, and it looks pretty nice. It looks pretty nice. Yeah, as I was saying, I did have trouble getting one up and running for whatever reason. It wouldn't update the firmware, and I had to reset it. I had to connect it manually. It was a whole process. So typical LIFX, I guess. Starting to wonder how many days I'll make this last. It's day 2. Today's achievement outside of work was mounting the low voltage transformer. Pretty simple installation. 2 screws plugged into the power block. Yes, I still need some wire management here, as you can see, but that may end up being a springtime thing. The additional lights are not connected yet. Waiting for a couple more things to show up from Amazon, but we do still have these 4 up and running. And this one by the tree is connected. You can kind of see that there. And then all of these are connected. So I'll catch you in the next one. All right, so day 3 of this project. All of my wires have been concealed in some PVC conduit. A box has been installed to house the junctions. I have 3 lines coming over to this box that stem off of the power and comm line from this transformer. Unfortunately, the transformer is not hardwired, but I think that's okay for my needs. So for right now, it's just plugged into that box there, but still have some cable management to do eventually, bury in these lines, so don't judge. But progress is progress in my book, and that'll probably be a spring project at this point. Welcome to day 163, I think. If you've been waiting this long for me to actually post this overview and installation video of these LIFX outdoor lights, well, thank you. Needless to say, this video has taken me a lot longer to get together than I had originally hoped, and all I can come up with are excuses, so apologies. That's life, and hopefully you are all doing well. Ever since I first posted that teaser video that this is coming. I didn't say when, or did I? I don't know. But anyways, I thought I would go ahead and put a fork in this
and give you some of my final thoughts as it pertains to these LIFX bulbs, or these LIFX outdoor landscape lights. And honestly, it's been a good journey. For the past 5 or 6 months, however long it's been, they've worked really well. The color palette is really nice. It does a great job at illuminating the exterior of my home as they should. Do I think they're worth the price point? I think the jury's still out on that one. They're expensive. Sure, you don't need a hub. There are some pros and cons. I think they look great. I think they function well enough. Unfortunately, if you know LIFX, you know that they tend to have some connectivity issues. They don't always stay connected to the Wi-Fi. In this case, they don't always stay connected to Matter. But in the case of my situation, I have them set up connected to a Wi-Fi enabled transformer, which works well. It's a 300-watt transformer. It's plenty for 8 of these exterior LIFX bulbs on the 14-volt side. But the way that I have it set up is that the transformer turns on every evening around sunset, and it turns off around sunrise. So in essence, the LIFX lights are not connected to the Wi-Fi all the time. I think that does me a bit of a favor, because then I know that they're going to get a fresh connection every evening. Hopefully they'll connect. If I need to change the color palette, I can do that. And it just works really well. Pros and cons, I suppose. As far as quality, I've had one of the power inverters fail. So one of the lights is currently not working. The good thing is I reached out to LIFX support, and they were really helpful at troubleshooting the issue and ultimately sending me a replacement at no cost. So that is on the way. I will be getting that set up hopefully within the next week or two, whenever fulfillment takes care of that. But yeah, overall it's been a good experience. I will include some B-roll at the end here from the drone that kind of shows what the lights look like at night. I'll show you some of the different colors, show you some things other than warm white. But other than that, it's been great. I really don't have too much more to say. At the end of the day, it is landscape lighting. I could probably get by with something cheaper, but hey, I like smart home tech. Sorry. So yeah, again, sorry it took me so long. If you're still watching, I appreciate you very much. As you can see, a lot has changed. I have probably put on a few more pounds. I have shaved my head. I'm officially bald. We no longer have the Tesla. We just have the Rivian, and back here, a new to me Land Cruiser 2018. So you didn't ask for this information, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. I also picked up a new e-bike. You can, if my gimbal cooperates here a little bit, you can see that we picked up a Mach Wheel Basalt 2.0 right there. So you didn't ask for that information. I'm going to share it with you anyway. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Appreciate you. And if you have any questions, concerns, want to know more about the nitty-gritty as it pertains to these lights, by all means, feel free to ask. I would love to do more content like this, so don't be shy. And until then, thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.